Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Flying Dog Playing Cards version 2 from Art of Play. Now, this deck is a collaboration between Maryland-based craft brewery Flying Dog and Ralph Steadman, a famed artist. Ralph Steadman is probably best known for his collaboration with Hunter S. Thompson. Back in the 70s, they did an incredibly influential book, became a movie called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Features a lot of Ralph Steadman's very distinctive and grotesque artwork, very provocative artist. And that served him well as he partnered later on with the Flying Dog Brewery. For about 20 plus years now, Ralph Steadman has done most, if not all, of the artwork for Flying Dog Brewery. And if you look at their different lines of beers, all of their bottles feature artwork from Ralph Steadman. In fact, he designed their logo as well. And so the two of them have a long-standing partnership together. And this deck here is the card version of their partnership, and it features a lot of the artwork of Ralph Steadman. Now, I did mention this is a version 2 of the deck. A couple years back, they did a version 1. That's this one over here. You can see a lot of similarities between them, but definitely punched up on the color in this new version. So let's get into the deck and take a look, starting with the tuck case. All right, it's done on a letterpress tuck case, matte finish with really subtle but tastefully applied embossing all the way through. There's also, everywhere you see black, just little bits of foil or gloss on it. I'm not sure if it's actual foil or just a gloss applied, but gives you just nice little accents throughout. The main image here is actually from Ralph Steadman's self-portrait. Very interesting and chaotic looking picture of him, looking kind of angry there. And it features lots of spatters of color and reds and greens, blues and yellows all throughout. Now, his art style, a lot of times he would use a mouth atomizer, basically blowing paint out to form this sort of spatter pattern that you see around here. And that's featured on this tuck case as well. So the first of many pieces of art, really beautifully done. And over here you have, it says, "Don't draw, Ralph, it's a filthy habit." And you have the HST for Hunter S. Thompson. Apparently something that he said to Ralph Steadman at some point. Ralph Steadman art collection featured at the top, Flying Dog edition, and these cool bats flying up off to the right here. Very cool imagery on the front. More spatters of paint that wrap around the tuck case. You've got Flying Dog edition 2 on one side and illustrated by Ralph Steadman on the other. Bottom, it says edition 2, features another bat there, reminiscent of the logo of the Flying Dog Brewery. And the top, it says premium playing cards, covered up by that tuck seal. The back has the Flying Dog logo. So you got Flying Dog with this sort of bat shape with a little bit of a stained glass effect in the middle. And of course, edition 2. Lots more pops of color throughout, giving the feel of just spatters of paint on a canvas. And then you get a postage stamp style tuck seal. This says Flying Dog with their logo, edition 2, done in that nice red color. More paint spatters on the inner flaps here, and nothing printed on the interior of the tuck case. A really nice artistic tuck case, definitely highlights the art of Ralph Steadman beautifully. Now getting into the cards, and we'll start with the back design. Here it is, more pops of color throughout. You have the two-way back design, where obviously the main element is that self-portrait that makes an appearance once again, with him staring right into your eyes. Just a really cool look to it. You have the Flying Dog logos in the four corners, and then a background with just seemingly random spatters of paint throughout, and then finishing out in that nice thin white poker border. Really well done, and despite the kind of randomness of this, it is a two-way back design, which I always prefer. That was one of the things that annoyed me about the first version, was it was one of those subtly one-way back designs where the paint spatters on that particular one didn't finish out the two-way back design. So I'm glad they corrected that in my mind with the two-way back design here. So there's your back design. Then we'll get into the extra cards and get the two jokers. And once again, we're going to get a flavor for Ralph Steadman's art style. You have his crazy font writing in the corners that just say Joker, Joker on both the red and the black. And each one features a unique piece of artwork. Really hard to tell what these are, but you have this sort of armless, goofy character on one side, and then this almost looks like a dog or a cat or something, glowing with all kinds of spatters of paint. So there's your two Jokers. Very interesting, distinctive style. All of the artwork on these has a facsimile signature there in the bottom as well. So there's your two Jokers. You also get a couple of ad cards. One is just a special thanks card, mentions Ralph Steadman art collection, obviously, Flying Dog Brewery, as well as Stark Raving Group. Jeffrey Weber helped put this deck together, and Art of Play, Dana Dave Buck. And the other one gives you a little bit of the history of the Flying Dog Brewery. They are really big defenders of the First Amendment. In fact, a lot of people thought that some of the artwork that Ralph Steadman put onto the bottles, as well as some of the names that they chose for the beers, were a little bit too provocative. And in fact, they had a really famous case where they had to sue in order to have their beer legally sold in Michigan. And so Flying Dog Brewery definitely stands up for the First Amendment, and has done so for years in their partnership with Ralph Steadman. So there's your other ad card. The four aces are none of them are power aces. They just feature a larger than average custom spade pip there in the center. And of course, it's kind of drawn in that imperfect, grotesque style that Ralph Steadman's known for. Splatters of paint around. Same thing for the pip and the index, that raw, hand-drawn or hand-painted style to them. All four of the aces feature the same style, giving you pretty standard but well-illustrated aces all the way through. Now, the original deck actually had artwork on the aces. I think I like that a little bit better, but these are nice as well. Keeps them nice and usable. So there's your aces. Number cards all feature those hand-drawn style pips again. Nothing too special. I do like that despite the fact that these are kind of hand-drawn, they don't do any, at least on a card, they don't do any repeated pips. So like I'll jump to the 10 over here. Every single one of these 10 pips is different. Now you will see pips repeated from one card to another. So like here, these two are the same pip, but on a single card, no repeated pips, which I like. Into your diamonds, all just done in a classic red. And then to your clubs. Some of these are so distorted, it's almost hard to tell they're a club, but nicely done. And then into the hearts. So those are the number cards. Nothing too out of the ordinary on those, but the quartz are where we really get to see more of Ralph Steadman's artwork, and it is really powerful art. Each one features a completely distinctive piece of art. Sometimes it's just kind of very in your face, you know, this almost face image here or on the Queen of Spades. Some of them are more grotesque and bizarre, like this dog with a human butt over its head, kind of perched up on a stool there. But they're all unique and really interesting pieces of art. And I love that as you flip through, you just get to appreciate such a wide range of really strong artwork that Ralph uses. You have the pip and index in the corner to mark them as playing cards, but you almost don't notice those because your mind is just drawn so much to these really unique pieces of art. I really like this one, the three-headed dog in front of the city there, barking with kind of blood spurting out of its mouth. There's the Jack of Clubs. This is another one I kind of like, this goofy looking dog in the center. The Queen of Clubs. Some of them feature, paint all the way to the edges. So like on the King of Clubs here, you get an almost black frame to it, giving it a much darker and more powerful look even compared to some of the others. There's your Jack of Hearts, and the Queen of Hearts with two of them boxing over here, and the King of Hearts. This is actually the image that's on their Double Dog beer that Flying Dog does. Double Dog is their double IPA, and this man dog or whatever this is here is actually featured on the label. So really beautiful artwork. I love how distinctive all the cards look, and just a chance to really appreciate Ralph Steadman's art. If you're a fan of his work, you will absolutely love this deck and really need to have it. Now, I will say in terms of usability, there's a couple of things that kind of detract from this. Well, the main one thing I will say is the fact that some of those court cards feature full bleed artwork. which kind of bleeds through to the edge. And I don't know if you can make it out here, but when you have this sort of sideways, you can actually sort of see a little bit of bleed through there, which helps you to kind of pick out where those court cards are. Definitely hurts the usability a little bit, but all in all, I think this is just a beautifully designed deck. So that is the deck. Now, as far as these uses of this, you could definitely use this if you have some Ralph Steadman fans in your midst. I think this would be a great deck to use for a game of poker or something like that. Breaking this out would really be cause for conversation. But really, this is an art and collector's deck. One that, if you're a fan of his artwork or of this style, you can kind of pour over the different court cards and really appreciate the skill that goes into each piece of artwork. It's like having a mini gallery in your hand. So that's it. That is the look at the Flying Dog V2 playing cards. Hope you enjoyed this look, and make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.